Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chaz Kayado. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying the new year. And today I'm going to be talking to you about challenging limitations. So part of the process of coming back to school as an adult, or even if you just finished college and then went directly to graduate school, either way, you need some type of preparation to enter this level of the academic space. It is not necessarily the same type of challenges that you have in undergrad or in high school. It's not necessarily, you know, vastly different, but it still is. It still is a different type of challenge than what you did in college, and so specifically for undergrad, you're just going to be going through the motions, following a similar formula every single semester where you're just taking one class, and that class is more or less usually a one and done. Possibly you are getting, back-to-back classes that are connected. Um, and not to say that knowledge in college isn't necessarily built on top of each other, because that's not what I'm trying to say. But when you get to the dissertation process, when you get to the higher level academic pursuits, you're talking about really, really long time frames that you need to put aside. So today I want to talk about just challenging the limitations that you might put on yourself. So knowing that, I would say probably the most important factor when you are planning to do something challenging, it doesn't even have to be academic, but when you're doing something difficult, you have to believe that you can do it first and foremost. It's crazy, but there are people out there that undertake tasks that they don't actually believe that they can do. And they'll do it for different reasons. But if you don't believe that you can do something, the end product is just not going to be there. I've done certain things that, while I'm in the process of doing it, I was like, I don't really think I'm going to be able to accomplish this. And guess what? When you don't believe you can accomplish something, you won't. So just understanding that when you are trying to put something difficult in front of you, you have to believe that you can do it first. That limitation, if you don't believe that you can do it, understand that you won't. Another limitation is not having a support network that you need. And once again, this is not just about academic pursuits. This is really about anything challenging. You could be a coach on a team. You could be a business owner. This could fall under many different categories. But if you don't have a strong support staff, if you don't have people that you can turn to help you answer questions or to help you work through a decision, it's going to be significantly harder to accomplish what you have set aside for yourself. So just understand that not having a support group is a severe limitation, and you should definitely go into anything challenging, any type of project, knowing who you can turn to. And that doesn't necessarily mean they have to be a part of a team. It could just be literally someone that you can turn to. So for instance, in school, you can turn to an academic counselor. If you are a teacher, you might not have a question that's specifically relates to something, project that you might be doing, but you have resources at school. You can go talk to someone and say, hey, do you know anything, or do you know of anyone that has done something similar to this that I might be able to bounce some ideas off of? So make sure you have your support group in place, or know who you can turn to ask questions. Okay, time planning. Now, I've talked about this in a bunch of different videos, So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about it. You can go back and look at those videos, but just know that time, planning what you're going to do is key. If you don't plan how you're going to set aside time to accomplish this goal, you're setting yourself up for failure. In one of my classes, I literally have the girls that I teach go in and they have to write a schedule for themselves, a mock schedule for what they expect their schedule will look like in college. Like all day. Like I get up, I do this. I set this time aside to do homework. I set this time aside for social, because if you are organized, it will help you be significantly more productive. You know where you are going to struggle with time, and you know where you are going to have an abundance of time. SMART goals. I already have another video on SMART goals, so you can go back and look at that video. But setting your goals smartly and effectively, that's going to help you accomplish those goals. If you don't have goals set in front of you, then I don't even know. I mean, really, you have to have a goal to have a challenge. You want to accomplish that challenge, but you need to have all elements of the SMART goal in order to accomplish that task. And then lastly, just using the resources that you have. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that you do have physical resources, digital resources, and I'm not talking about the support group. That is a resource in itself, but I'm talking about resources that aren't related to people. Look at what you have access to, okay? Do you have access to the databases that you need? Do you have access to the physical tools that you need? You might, okay? So also know how you can leverage those tools to help you out, okay? So understanding the resources that you have available to you, for instance, in the education space, one of the resources that I have for my dissertation is the laptop that the school lets me use. So that saves me money. It's essentially, if there's ever any issues with the laptop, I have an IT person that can look at it. That is a real resource that I can use, that helps me accomplish my tasks in terms of my academic pursuits. So think about all those tools and resources that you have available, because once again, if you don't, it will make it even more difficult to accomplish the goals and to deal with the challenges that you have. So what we want to do is we want to take all of the limitations that we have in accomplishing a difficult task, and we want to come up with a strategy to overcome those limitations. And in some instances, you may even be able to find a way that you could turn a limitation into a benefit. So all of that takes time, and it takes consideration, and it takes effort. So, that's really all I wanted to go over on today's video, just understanding how to challenge these limitations. And it doesn't have to be for, academic pursuits. This could just be anything in life. But how do I deal with the things that will potentially stop me from reaching the end of the journey that I'm looking for? All right, thank you. You guys have a great day.